We are live. My name is John Crump. I am the director for Gunners of America for the state of Virginia. I am also a writer for the one, the only AmmoLand.com, and we were supposed to be joined by Mike Smormo. I don't know how to pronounce his name, from Operation Backbone. He was supposed to be here last week. It got moved to Monday. He was supposed to be here Monday. Did no show. Supposed to be here yesterday. He moved it to today. Was supposed to be here at 3. He moved it to 4, and it's 4 o'clock, and I have no idea where he is. So if he shows up, we will roll him into the show. But if not, we won't. If you and that would be 3 strikes. You're out. If you look on whatever you're watching this on, if you're watching this on everything but Periscope won't let me promote it. But if you are on YouTube or Facebook, you can see a link in the chat. Yeah, I'm gonna do like an open mic or open line Friday, but an open stream Friday, so you can jump on in here. I'm gonna tell you about a little bit of the stories I am working on, and also what is going on with braces, 80%, and all that other great stuff. Martial law. What? If something on martial law? I don't know. You let me know, Donald, what's going on with martial law. Let me go ahead and start. Let's go ahead and break it down. About a month ago, I wrote a pretty long post about, pretty long article about the ATF and what the ATF was thinking they're going to do with braces. At the time, it was met with a bunch of controversy and a bunch of indignation. That I said, hey, the ATF is going to do all this stuff, and it's happened, which is unfortunate. So now, everyone knows what the choices are. There's tons of videos out there. I'm not going to rehash what's going on with braces. It's just know the comment period is open. You can go to the registry. My article has a link to it, and you can leave your comment and voice your concern to the federal government about the banning of braces. With that said, I am going to Gorilla Guns. You're welcome to join on. I'm going to plug my Patreon, patreon.com/John Crump. Oh, hold on for 1 second. We got to stop the show. We have our first open stream Friday. It's a guy that I've never actually talked to in person, although I've wanted to talk to him for a long time. He is a very good guy. He's very, very patriotic. He has helped out my niece Bella a ton. I cannot thank this guy enough. His name, he goes by Joe Drag. How are you doing, Joe?
Good. How about yourself?
Good. I'm glad someone decided to join me. I have no idea what's up with my guest. This is like the 4th time, so it's done. What's really funny is they requested to be on the show.
I'm sorry. Say that again.
They're the ones who wanted to be on the show.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's I'm done with that. So, how are you doing? What do you think about the whole brace 80% polymer stuff and things like that?
It's getting out of hand.
Yeah,
it's just their first step in to take everything else away from us.
yeah. I have something that I call a happy tyranny, like little steps. Then, like the frog doesn't know he's being boiled until he's being boiled. It's like little steps. They're little steps. And to my surprise, when I was researching all this, because the whole solvent trap thing, they raided a solvent trap company. I found out that the first solvent trap company got hit back in March, and they've been raiding solvent trap companies since then. I have an article that's going to be coming out talking about all that good stuff. But yeah, so they've been raiding solvent trap companies. They started way back then, and solvent traps are just as uh, confusing. If you ask the ATF about solvent traps, like what are the things about solvent traps? They're like, solvent traps are illegal. It's like, okay, they're illegal. Then why are you raiding these places? Intent. It's like, all right, so you believe that they're selling these things as unregistered suppressors because someone out there could think it. So if you buy a solvent trap without a Form 1 and you decide, hey, this is a crappy solvent trap and make it into a suppressor, you're good. But if you buy a solvent trap without a Form 1 and you think that you're going to Form 1 it, then you're breaking the law. I don't get it. They're so vague. They take what they call a holistic approach to stuff, where you don't know if it's legal or if it's not legal until you do it, which is kind of crazy. Just like with races, they're like, we can't tell you if your rifle's a brace or not until we examine it. Well, then you ask them, well, how do you examine it? Can we submit it to you? No. So you basically have to be arrested.
Yeah, they're making it so confusing that I don't even understand it. You know, I work at a gun shop, and I don't have answers for people because I don't know. I can't explain it to them.
I don't think the ATF can explain it to them.
I'm sorry.
I don't think the ATF can explain it to themselves.
Yeah, I mean, all I do is tell people to call the ATF. They can explain it to you better than I can.
Yeah, have you ever tried talking to the ATF about this?
I've talked to the ATF about ARs because somebody came into our shop from New York, and I said, I don't think I can legally sell it to you.
I don't think you
I said,
can.
let's call the ATF, and they said all they could tell us is go onto a certain website and punch in your information, and it'll tell you if you can buy it. But they won't come out and give you a straight answer.
The ATF is the most secretive organization ever. They have if you work in a gun shop, you're familiar with what an IOI is, right?
Yes.
The IOI manual I released probably 6 months ago about what they look for and what the punishments are for violations. That manual was a secret until I published it.
Yeah. Ain't that the truth?
They wouldn't even let you know what the violations are or what the penalties for the violations are. Yeah. So they got really pissed off when I published it. But I think it's unfair to do that to gun shops.
Yeah, it puts us on edge. You know, we get all that. They're pamphlets that they send us. We can't keep up with it half the time on what their laws are changing. And
I know their big push that this is something that they're talking about behind the scenes. So this isn't really even known. Is looking for like the kid safe stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And that
was the biggest thing, you know. It's like, okay, and I explained that to everybody. You let a kid get a hold of your gun, you're in trouble, not the kid.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's one of the things. Somebody wants to know how long before they go after suppressors. I don't think that they are going to go after suppressors, actually. That was Michael Evans. I don't think they're going to go after legally owned suppressors because that's kind of written into the law. And I don't see any way that they're going to change it without going through an amendment. But yeah, it's crazy what they look for. Being in a gun shop, you have to know how crazy it is, right?
It is. When I entered people into the NICS system, you know, I was doing one the other day and had his paperwork and all that stuff, and he filled it out, and I entered this information in, and he says, "No, I have 2 DOIs. Is that going to make a difference?" And I was like, "Are you kidding me? Did you mark that on the paperwork?" He's like, "No," and I'm like, "Well, it's too late now." I said, "I can't stop it."
Yeah.
I said, "We'll find out in a minute." And then they changed the form, which I don't agree with.
Yeah,
the 44.
I can tell you why they did that. I got an article coming out about that. In Martinsburg, where all the out of business FFL send their documents, they have these high speed scanners that they bought. that uses OCR technology, which is optical character recognition. And by
Mhm.
putting the pertinent information on the front page, it speeds up the process of them scanning everyone into the system, so they know exactly what you have and when you bought it. Uh, so with this OCR technology, they can type in Joe Drag, and it's going to pull up every gun you bought from an out of a business dealer. They're not legally allowed to have a registry, but doesn't that sound like a registry to you?
100%. That's what I explained to the guy that I work with, and he's like, "Nah, I can't be." I was like, "I'm telling you, man, this is what it's for."
That is what it's for. My article is going to be coming out pretty soon about that. Uh, I get a lot of internal documents, but I think this stuff should not be secret. I mean, if it was like a criminal investigation of some guy who was selling machine guns or guns to the cartels, then
Yeah,
I wouldn't share that, even though it would probably be the ATF, High Fast and Furious. um,
yeah,
but like all the information about like stuff like why they do certain things, and they try to play it off as this secret, this big secret. I just don't get it. I think we have the right to know as Americans and as
yeah.
as people working in gun shops why they're doing certain things.
Yeah, shouldn't that fall under the Freedom of Information Act?
Well, that's what I do. I do FOIA a lot of their stuff. What I do is I will get a lot of the times I'll get their stuff before I FOIA it. Then I FOIA it, and I can see exactly if they're lying to me or not,
Mhm.
which probably pisses them off a little bit, but whatever. Because they'll come back and they'll give me something, and I'll be like, "Yeah, this isn't all of it." They're like, "Yeah, that's all of it." I'm like, "No, how about this document?" And then they're like, "Oh, let's go back and examine it."
Right.
Yeah, you're right. They just don't call it a registry. You are absolutely Michael Evans. They don't, and it's ridiculous. So we have to fight back. What do you think our chances of pushing back against the ATF is?
It all depends on what goes down next couple months.
Yeah, I think the
You know what I'm
ATF right
saying?
now.
It's
I think. Go ahead.
no. I was just gonna say, January's gonna tell all tales.
Yeah.
That's I I'm hoping it doesn't. Either way the outcome is, it's going to be bad.
Yeah, I think they're gearing up, and I think they're auditioning for the Biden administration
Yeah, I would agree.
because
I
Biden's
would
going to be
agree.
the anti-gun president. So, like stuff like Georgia is really important because of the whole Biden thing.
Right, right. It's I have friends down there, and I have friends working down there right now, and I keep telling them, please, get out there and push for this crap.
Yeah, but
Get out there and vote. Talk to your friends, whatever you got to do.
the fight's not over. We're never out of the fight. We gotta. I think it was what is it, Rocky Balboa, where he's like, "It's not about how hard you get hit; it's about getting back up," or something like that.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
That's what we do.
It's crazy. Even here, I'm in Pennsylvania. Even here, it's getting out of hand.
Yeah.
It's if within the last, oh my god, in 1 week I sold 14 guns to first time gun owners.
Yeah, I wrote an article for Outdoor Magazine about first-time gun owners and and how many first-time gun owners there are. There's a lot, but we got to convert those people because just because they're buying guns doesn't mean they're going to vote on a gun
Right,
issue. We have to
right,
educate them, and
right,
we are
and
joined by the Silverback himself, Mister Silverback Bananas. Are you
What's up,
Joe
man?
Drag? Do you know Silverback?
I've seen him on the cast on your podcast.
Yeah, he has his own podcast called Gorillas and Guns, and he is the co-host of a new podcast that's launching next month. We did one episode, but since GOA decided to launch all the podcasts next month, we might have to redo it. But it was good practice, right?
Right. It was good practice.
Yeah, it's
Now,
called.
now I know not to get ahead of topic.
Yeah, like we're gonna go mid December with everything going on. They're like, maybe we should wait. If you don't know, GOA is launching podcasts for different states, and it's going to be covering just the state topics. And over back here is in Virginia, and I'm in Virginia. We're in different parts of Virginia. I'm in what's called, I guess, the occupied Virginia. Oh, I mean, Northern Virginia.
Is that what you were talking about the other night? Because you said the flagship's going to be here in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, the flagship is going to be in Pennsylvania. Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to send you an email so you can send me that guy's contact information so I get a hold of him.
Yeah, his name is Dr. Val Patel. He is a colonel, a former colonel, retired colonel, the military doctor. Incredibly smart guy, incredibly knowledgeable on guns and also medical stuff. He's been like an expert witness. He's met with the White House multiple times on veterans issues. He's been an expert witness on for like them trying to shut down gun stores. He was for the COVID thing. He's been the expert witness on that. He's a very, very smart guy, and he does a lot for gun rights. And
Yeah,
he's
I'm gonna get a hold of him and whatever I can do to help him.
yeah, I am sure that he would need he would take all the help that he can get. And I see Mr. Silverback, the future gunsmith there.
Yeah. See what I got in the background here?
Let me see. I talked to a bunch of gun smithing schools.
Oh, yeah. Which ones? Did you talk to?
SDI.
Okay. Yep. SDI. Yeah.
Yeah, talk to like the dean.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they wanted to get some information on what's going on with the ATF because they ship out stuff to their students.
Right.
And they're like, we need to find out if what we're shipping out is violating any laws.
Well, you figured they would have people on that, seeing as how they're a school and they're supposed to be accredited and all.
Yeah, they are a school. I mean, they do have people on it, but right now it's just so confusing that no one really knows.
Everything is moving a lot faster than it has normally been too. So, yeah, and that's the way they want to keep it. They want to keep it as confusing as possible, so that way people won't know which end is up, and they can leave it open for interpretation and just make things up as they go along.
That is absolutely right. You are definitely right. 100% right on that. They do.
With the letter that they just put out, and they said you have 14 days to comment on it. Isn't it supposed to be 90 days?
Yes.
No, they did a 14-day one, and they did it over holiday. So yeah, Christmas Eve was a federal holiday. Christmas is a federal holiday. New Year's Eve.
Yeah, and that's okay. Pretty well by design because they know that during the holidays everybody's in a mad rush to do things, and they're hoping that not as many people will comment on this, and they'll be able to just be like, oh yeah, nobody really cares. We haven't gotten that many comments, and just slide it on through.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the plan. So let's go ahead and blow that up and send them a bunch of different comments. Oh, by the way, I got a bunch of 80% kits coming in.
Nice.
And also a bunch of solvent traps.
Oh, sweet.
I literally have like 25 solvent traps.
Well, for what caliber oil?
I don't know. I just told semi-solvent traps, so therefore, if I decide to inform one of them, I'm not going to inform one of them or anything like that. I have no intention of making them a suppressor. But if the ATF does try to like go after people, I might have a little bit of standing to sue.
Right.
Not saying that's the reason.
Wasn't there something that happened a few months back where a gentleman was buying some solvent traps, and the ATF actually came to his, I think it was a place of business,
Yeah,
because he was actually using them for something.
he was buying. He had a diesel shop, and he was buying like diesel fuel filters for actual filtering diesel fuel.
Right.
And he showed up at his business and was like, "You need to give us all these diesel fuel filters." And he's like, "Why?" he's like, "What do you
I'm
have to
supposed
do?"
to fix these engines.
He's like, I use them for my business. Like, yes, we know you use them for your business. He's like, can I show you my business? And then
Leave it to the ATF to screw things up.
It's like, you go in there. You go in there and you like look. Oh, this guy's ordering a bunch of diesel fuel filters to a diesel fuel filter shop.
Right.
To a diesel shop. Maybe he's not trying to make them into suppressors.
Right. Maybe not.
Anybody could turn a diesel fuel filter into a suppressor. All the power to them. Those things are huge.
They don't. They don't care. They just get their marching orders. I do know the issues with the solvent traps. There's two things that okay, let's get into this a little bit. Solvent traps. One thing they're rating people over is the dimples on the caps, because they're saying that shows intent because it shows people with a drill.
Center punch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, they're saying that if their SEO, search engine optimization, has words in it like suppressor or silencer, then that shows intent that there's only suppressor parts.
Well, there's none of those words in solvent trap. So,
well, also, if you order parts from overseas, they can say that you're ordering suppressor parts from overseas, which violates ITAR. And that's what they have used so far. But there's been no arrest. They've just taken stuff. At the last raid they did, they took customer information, which was the first time that I've found that they're taking customer information. All the other times they just confiscated product. And these shops are all little. They're like mom and pop shops. They're not like these big manufacturers with hundreds of people. They're like, the biggest one is like 7. It's really a niche industry. There's not a lot of money there. And I think that's why you don't see places like NSSF backing them up, or people getting really upset. Because it started with the solvent traps. It's been going on since March. Joe, it looks like you want to say something.
No, I just get frustrated. I everything you put out, and I watch every week, and I keep up with as much as I can, and it gets frustrating.
Yeah. Let me ask you this thing. Since this is like an impromptu open Friday where anyone can jump in, what do you guys think? You guys like this?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I think all this ATF stuff needs to slow down because I need some sleep.
Yes, you do.
My piles of ATF stuff just keeps on growing and growing and growing. And Silverback, a lot of he saw my leaked document hard drive with all the leaked documents, including a lot that's not released yet. And just going through it is just crazy. And there's so much crazy stuff in there.
Yeah, it's pretty mind-boggling. If you're not used to looking at it and you get hit with all that information, it can be very overwhelming, especially on the frustrating side, because you know what it's leading up to.
Yeah, and then sometimes when you tell people, they don't want to believe it. I don't know. In the gun industry, in the gun world, we have something where people, when you report on something, sometimes people take it as an attack. Like, you shouldn't be talking about this stuff.
Yeah, you're gonna scare everybody.
Yeah,
people are scared about information, then they need to, grow up a little bit, because knowledge is power, and the more knowledge you have, the more powerful you can be.
Yeah, Michael Evans points out, is Maglite in violation of making suppressor parts because people may use flashlight tubes? Well, if Maglite makes it and they say, "Hey, this can be used for suppressor," then yeah, according to the ATF, yeah, it's just dumb. It's very, very dumb. But basically, though, we knew this was coming for a while, right? A lot of people knew it was coming.
Yeah, you don't want to see it, though.
You don't want to see it,
Right.
but at the same time, you have to know it's coming so you can be prepared to push back hard. And that's the only way that any of this stuff is going to get defeated, is if we push back hard.
Mm-hmm. But a lot of people like to live in that comfort zone and not gain that kind of information. So, they can't push back, because a lot of people are still under the impression that, well, it's the government. What are we going to do?
Yeah, but the government is us. That's what we got to remember. We can control the government. The government wants, the people in charge want you to be disenfranchised and non-active.
Right, exactly. Which
So,
is where a lot of the attitude comes from. Oh, well, it's the government. What can we do? They're going to do what they want. Blah blah blah. Why fight it?
Oh, why fight it? It's because it's wrong. That's why. Exactly. And you got to fight injustice when you see injustice, and this is definitely injustice.
What did what did that quote from back in World War II? I'm afraid I woke a sleeping giant.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was the Yamamoto, Admiral Yamamoto of the Japanese Navy, when he said, "I fear all we have done is awoken the sleeping giant."
Yeah, right. That's what they're trying to prevent.
Yeah,
so getting everybody woke.
Right. Yeah. He also made the statement that it would be impossible to invade U.S. soil because behind every blade of grass would be a rifle.
That was right. Tojo said that, I believe.
Tojo was the one that's okay, but it still came from over there during that time.
Yeah. UF says, "This has been dumb in my opinion. This was headed there since 2012 when braces were invented. How do you think the NFA will get repealed? They would just forget about it?" No. What I think the way to get rid of the NFA, and I've said this, and I've been attacked for this. And okay, let's see what GWEB says here. He says, "Government is not an actor; it's a mechanism that's used by the people. You are letting other people use it. If you want to walk away as soon as they slap you." I agree with that. I agree with that. That's why we can't walk away, but that's what they want us to do. That's why we can't. Yeah, it's getting really, really insane. This is my opinion on how you get rid of the NFA. We take a lot of people want to hear this. They want to see a wholesale repeal of the NFA. I don't think we can get rid of the NFA all at once unless it's through some type of court action, like argue that it's the violation of Murdoch versus the state of Pennsylvania, or something like that, which is a landmark court case. You guys should look at it. A Jehovah's Witness was going door to door, giving out literature and asking for donations, and then they tried to, they tried to tax him on his stuff and say you have to have a solicitor's license before you get a door to door. The Supreme Court said you can't have a direct tax on a given right, and I think the NFA is a direct tax on a given right. So maybe that it can get overturned on that. I doubt it. A lot of people want to say, well, let's just have a bill that gets rid of it. I don't think that's going to be possible. What we need to do is we need to chip away at it little by little, just like the anti-gunners do. They take away our rights little by little. We need to use the same methods. So stuff like the Hearing Protection Act, or saying, "Hey, look, this whole Bryce thing, you're gonna have 1 million people file." I was talking to Silverback about this. 1 million people file. Wait periods are going to be in the years to get any NFA items back. The easiest thing for them to do is just to remove SBRs and SBSs from the NFA. So we have to make points like that and chip away at it little by little. Because the first thing you say, "Oh, I want to get rid of the NFA," they're going to say, "Oh, you want to have machine guns out there?" I do, but but they're going to use that for the more people who are not as pro gun as us. In this, I'm pretty sure that if I said we're going to get rid of the NFA and we're going to have machine guns, and machine guns are going to go on sale at the gun store, I know I wouldn't be doing a live stream. I'll be waiting at the door of the gun store to try to get in and buy myself a freaking machine gun. And I'm sure you guys would be the same way. But if you say, "Hey, if I have a 15 3/4 inch barrel on my rifle, it's illegal. But if I have a 16-inch barrel, I have an extra 1/4 inch, it's legal."
Yeah.
People might say, "You know what? That makes sense." Show them some of the other AOW stuff that doesn't make any sense. So we got to chip away at it little by little.
The problem is you got to get the Supreme Court to start taking up these cases.
Right.
Until they start hearing them, it's an upward battle.
Yeah. G-Webs, what I'm saying is if we get rid of the NFA, we're going to have to do it little by little. I don't think they're going to use the whole machine gun argument to block any repeal of the NFA. So we have to repeal it little by little, removing suppressors. And the goal is to get rid of the NFA. Don't get me wrong. But I think this is a strategy that's going to be more successful.
Well, see, it's going to be hard because they want that NFA there, so that way they have a gun registry happening. Because if they can put more things on the NFA and more people have to register them, that means they have a bigger list compiling of who has what.
Yeah.
Eventually, it'll turn into California.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Chris Ramirez says the Supreme Court is useless, and they have been.
Yes, most definitely.
And I disagree 100%, but I think the NFA can be done in one swipe, but that's another topic. Yeah, G-Webs, we both agree that the NFA needs to get rid of. I just think it's more feasible to take it apart little by little, dismantle it that way than like a wholesale get rid of it. I wish there was a way to wholesale get rid of it, but I don't see that getting through Congress because they're going to go back to the machine gun argument every single time. He disagrees with both of us, but you know what?
It's all in the wording.
Yeah, it's all in the wording, and we all agree we need to get rid of it. Totally. For me, I would love to see us be able to get rid of it in one swipe, but unfortunately, I deal with these guys day in, day out, the politicians. I talk to them day in and day out. With the exception of like Rand Paul and a few others out there, maybe Ted Cruz, like Lauren Boebert, and a few others, I don't see us having enough support to get rid of it at one time. So if we can flip some of those people and get them on board, then yeah, let's go get rid of the whole NFA. But to not take shots at it where we can say, hey, look, this part of it is so screwed up, and this is why we're in the situation we're in with braces because of the SPRs and the SBSs on the NFA. If we can't take advantage of that and just can't take a little victory and work towards a full victory, then I think it's just smart. I think we have an opportunity here to show you why one part of the NFA doesn't work. And if you say this part doesn't work, they can always come back and be like, "Oh, well, all the other parts work," even though we know they don't work. They can hang their hat on that. But if we say, "Okay, well, let's just get rid of this part right now, and we'll discuss the other parts as well," but let's just agree to get rid of this part. I think we should take that victory.
Agreed.
I don't think we should leave that on the table. Give us a little bit of that, and we'll work on getting rid of the whole thing. But to not take an opportunity like this to point out how one part of it is bad and concentrate on that one part to try to dismantle it and take the teeth out. Because I know the sticking point is going to be machine guns.
Yeah.
So I think I'm a little confused with G-Webs because he's saying braces, cans, ammo manufacturers, 80%. Those are steps on the table. Steps on what? As far as that goes, if he disagrees with what we were saying about the NFA, but that statement to me makes me think that he's kind of confirming what we're saying about the NFA. Like they're going to go ahead and put the braces and they already got the suppressors on there. Then they're going to do ammo and 80% all NFA items or ban items. So I just, like I said, I'm a little confused about where he's going with this statement.
All right, let's find out from the man himself. Everyone out there, Mr. G Web, gun websites. What is up, my friend from the great state of Arizona?
Used to be. We're blue now. But yeah, so I don't disagree. I only disagree on the size of the bite because it's way tough to deal with the comments, right? You only get 200 characters or something. You got to try to summarize. And anyway, so we're going into Christmas. They threw this down at us at a time when it's completely inappropriate. Anybody on any angle is going to look at this and go, this was a sly move. This was a deceptive, strategic move in order to slide something in. I was talking on we were talking about this with the Second Amendment Foundation earlier when they were live, and they didn't go after handguns and purses on Mother's Day, did they? Right? They didn't go after the most common gun used in violence, right? They didn't. And they didn't go after off-body carry, which could potentially the ATF could decide, hey, we got interest in off-body carry. That's a potential problem because somebody could steal it. Women are feeble and they can't hold on to purses when they're getting attacked. So that should be illegal. Did they do that? No, because of the DC project. Because we got Diana Mueller 5 years ago now or whatever, started going to DC and having direct relationships with her representatives, right? And she started gathering more and more ladies, regular ladies from all age groups, from all spectrums, and they go once a year to the representatives and meet with them 5 at a time. They meet with pro-gun and anti-gun state representatives, and they meet them not like a parade of victims like the antis do, but instead a bunch of people who are collectors, who are competition shooters, who are moms, who are grandmoms, who are everything in between, right? They go and meet those representatives, and they've been doing that for 5 years. So anyway, we've got that going on right now. We have that. We didn't have that in 2013 when Obama thought he could do whatever he wanted. And in Obama in 2013, how many people remember that? I remember being the second biggest channel on YouTube, playing around with guns, just farting around, trying to get a community together who wasn't interested because we were being, we were being coaxed by the video game industry. If you remember what else happened in 2013, the video game industry, they came over from all the YouTube, what do you call them, like agents came over from video games and came to the gun community, and they understood that something was going to happen politically in 2014. or excuse me, in 13 at the end of, with the Obama fight. And they didn't have any interest in helping. They just wanted to exploit. And all kinds of stuff happened back then. We don't have that circumstance here. In that time, we didn't have anybody helping, even though we had mechanisms in place that could have helped. We didn't have anything set up. Nothing was there. None of our pro-gun organizations were even online in 2015. They had websites, but they were not actively doing anything online except posting. They didn't understand that there was a thriving community of gun owners on every social media platform in 2015 or 2014 and 13. So what we have today is unprecedented. We have ladies who are 5 years in the fight that have direct relationships with representatives who are going to be upset that this is happening between Thanksgiving and Christmas, right? So we don't be thinking, oh, they're going to get us. This is a razor slice. This was a scam move being done by people who aren't even appointed, by people who are just representing, right? We got Trump still. Come on, there's pressure we can put on that side. We've got so much resources now, and we've got 14 days. Think about what we've got today in 2020 compared to what we had in 2012 with the people aware of what an online presence is in the various communities on the various platforms and all the different cliques and groups and sports and hunting organizations and all this. Imagine if we all focused on writing letters for the next 14 days, not just write a letter and then talk about what to buy for Christmas or what you got for Christmas, but instead screen capture what it's like to go to the ATF site and fill out that form. When the ATF gets swamped by forms, and you're allowed to write more than once, if you come up with a better idea or something else, some other concern, you write them again. This is an open letter for questioning. This is a time to educate people on the mechanics of our system, a system that went through 2 world wars and a civil war. It has lasted through giving rights to people that didn't have rights when the country was formed. We changed that, right? We've done horrible things, but we've done awesome things with this system, this core system that people are willing to give up on because somebody came up and spit on it or somebody came up and slapped them with it. The government isn't a thing. It's a mechanism. It's a freaking horse. It's like getting upset that somebody ran a horse past you. Now you're not going to ride on horses. It's our government. If they used it incorrectly in front of us, push them out of the way and use it correctly. Let our descendants know that these are mechanisms that we've got control over. We have 14 days to effort before Christmas. Are you kidding me? Doom on them. We should be able to be motivated more than we've ever been. Working together, not in some sort of lockstep. I'm going to keep repeating that. Anybody who changes what I'm trying to say here into we need to work in unity, bullshit. I won't work with certain people. I understand that when I go to the movies and watch Star Wars, I don't have to like everybody in that theater. We all like Star Wars, and that's great. And when we leave, we're going to say Star Wars is better than Star Trek, maybe. But I don't have to have any affiliation with them. This is our Second Amendment. There are scoundrels and assholes that exploit us. And I'm not going to sit here and talk about that for the next 14 days because I don't give a shit. I'm going to hope that they work with us. And after 21 days, if they did nothing, I'll stand there and go, look who did nothing last 14 days. But we're not going to win a victory here. We're not going to get rid of the NFA. But we have an opportunity to work together. And if we're not going to take that opportunity, then what the fuck did we do? Sorry for swearing on your show.
It's totally cool, man. You're fired up, and I agree. That's why
you're working on pistol brace research because I'm trying to do something. All I can do is what I know how to do, right? What I'm experienced in, and that's putting crap on the internet. So I'm trying to figure out what the hell these braces are. I've been aware of them since 2012, and I've been a fan because they are creating precedents. We have 8 years of precedents of short-barreled rifles effectively being in the hands of anyone. There's over 700,000 in just one model.
Yes.
Probably have a better idea how many of these things actually exist, but they don't know because they're not serialized. But an unprecedented number of these products exist, and they're going to suggest that they're dangerous? No, this is precedent that the NFA shouldn't even exist. So when I come in here to get started on, the NFA shouldn't exist. These are short barrel rifles, and they've been out for 8 years now. I'm sitting here writing a list. It's been taking me 2 days just to write the freaking list. There's dozens and dozens of them for every platform out there. They've gone back and forth on their just whether or not it can be shouldered or not. We have the Hearing Protection Act that dropped dead in Trump's presidency, which was almost ready to use the ADA to get hearing protection, attack the NFA off of the American with Disabilities Act, right? So we got short-barreled rifles and we got the ADA. Machine guns, come on. There's so many ways we can get rid of machine guns. Just like Crump said, put them aside. Say machine guns are over here, but let's give us back short barrel rifles. Give us back suppressors. If we eat away at the Title II of our only national firearms laws, we're accomplishing something, right?
Well, I think that's what we were saying. That's why we were so confused.
Yeah, I'm just saying, let's do it all at once. I think these kids that are playing video games and want a PDW want no more of these 1934 laws to go along with it. And I don't think those kids behind you need to care about how slow our grandparents were to respect the way of blah, blah, blah. We don't live in that world. Our grandparents didn't even vote this time. I was just saying, we have what, 19? I don't even keep track. We have 19 states with recreational marijuana. You're telling me the people that vote for just going out and smoking marijuana on the street to have fun aren't going to understand that machine guns aren't scary and that short barrel rifles aren't hurting you?
Yeah. Go ahead, Girling.
Like I was saying, it's the lack of information and education, as you were saying. Then that's what makes things scary, because they only listen to one side. They don't open up and go looking for all the information. They get one side stuck in their head, and that's what they believe. So always in the back of their mind, they're just going, "Oh my God, this is scary. This is this and this is that because so and so said so." You know, people tend to be more followers than leaders, and that's where the issue really lies. A lot of people don't want to think for themselves because they're too lazy to think for themselves. They think that.
I hear you. I'm going to interrupt though, because fuck that. Sorry. So those little kids there, they can't hear me, right? Because you got the earphones on. So screw that. Here's the deal. We're the descendants of people that got sick of all the crap in Europe and everywhere else in the world and came here. And we're the descendants of those people. I hear you. I think that it's more like they're not that their people are followers and they're too stupid. Definitely there are stupid people, but those are the people that think that by removing guns from a society, you won't have what's 100 miles south of me, cartels running everything, right? They don't see that parallel, that firearms are what give us the peaceful environment that they get to complain about, right? So I don't think that the lazy people are on our side. I think the people on our side just haven't seen leaders do something. If you look at the people who are actually being the focus of firearms community right now, they're emulating what was done on magazines and television in the 1980s, except they're doing it online. Let's talk about people like Crump, who 3 days a week is talking to Pro 2A people. Let's talk about Cheryl Todd and Dan Todd, who run on Gun Freedom Radio, interview people that are doing just 2A work and, you know, valid gun industry stuff. Let's talk about Riding Shotgun with Charlie, right? Interviewing valid 2A people. I mean, we've got good people out there on our side. It's just that we don't have people that have decided, hey, let's get rid of the NFA in 2021, when a new president who's got so much other shit to worry about, the masks, the crap that creates the mask, the economy, all the immigration stuff. I mean, I could go on. Healthcare. Are you kidding me? We have the best potential in the world. He cannot devote the resources that we can to this fight. Bloomberg cannot pay to defend against us right now. This is the perfect opportunity for us. So yeah, we've got a lot going.
I agree with that 100%. But like I'm saying is, I'm not saying that it's anybody on our side that is ignorant or stupid or has listened to one side versus the other.
No,
it's the other side that I'm talking about, because there's more and more of those growing as time goes on, and less of us coming up into this.
And again, that's advantage for us. Their side is literally paid by Bloomberg to hire a chick from Monsanto who knows how to peel on emotions and tug on heartstrings, right? They literally are just being led around by an emotional BS. That's our advantage. We know how to fight that. Unfortunately, we allow them to pick the scenario. They pick the ambush points, and we know when they're coming. We just don't know when, but we know the situation every time it happens, and we get, put in a position to have to defend atrocity. So we know that system, but that's not the system right now. This isn't 15 days because of some horrible atrocity happened by some asshole who's trying to be infamous, and we know the media is going to amplify that. Instead, they decided to pull this wild card for who knows why. You guys talked about it earlier. Like, why did they pick this between Christmas? Who knows? But this isn't the normal situation. We've got so much potential on this one, and we're dropping the ball if we're not wailing on this one this time around.
Here's a question for you guys.
Go ahead.
Do you think we need to do a roundtable discussion about how to get rid of the NFA?
No. When it's all over, let's talk about it. Right now, I think volunteers, I've heard this at a gun rights policy conference, and I'll repeat it as often as I can. You don't micromanage volunteers. Let's get rid of the NFA and let's recon again at the end of 2021 and see what happened. But I don't think there's a path, and I don't think any strategist knows. I think that what we've got going for us is a whole bunch of useful, competent, able-bodied people who have a similar goal. And I think we do better off on, because like I say, there's scoundrels out there. There's people that you don't even know who rip us off, who just profit off of us. I won't deal with them. I'm still going to shut up and just work towards that goal if they're working with us. When we get out of this fog, we're in the fog of war right now, right? When we get out of this and we have time to regroup and lick our wounds, then we figure out who was working with us and who was just exploiting us, who was selling us goods along the way, and who was making it easier for us to get where we're going, who was giving us intel and who was selling us out. But now let's not talk about a roundtable. Let's talk about a roundtable. We're going to have one on Monday to talk about how to write these letters and how often to write them and how to make that plea to other gun owners that this is an important thing to do and why, so that we can, not so that there's a finish line that we're going to cross and the NFA is going to be gone, so that we can get better at this. We haven't had such an opportunity for, like, literally, who is going to look at us as gun owners and go, what did they do? They were trying to enjoy Christmas and all of a sudden all this stuff gets dropped on them. We have the sympathy card, we have the righteous card, and we have the competency. We're not at a lack of anything in this scenario. So no, I don't want to talk about getting rid of the NFA until we've gotten rid of it. Let's talk about how we got rid of it once we did. But no, last year, the year before, when it was easy to buy ammo, that's when it would have been a great time to talk about it. But whatever, let's work and then talk about it after.
Tell us about what's going on Monday. You said you have some type of live stream?
Oh, we just, by the seat of our pants, came up with that. So this guy named Walt out of California, I think it's Walt Anderson. I probably should know. He does. He jumps on the Daily Gun Show once in a while. He's a guy out of California who's a gun owner, more recent gun owner than some of us, and he's more literate than me. So we were chatting about it the other day, and we decided to get together on Monday to talk about how to write a letter and strategies, and then all the stuff we just talked about, actually writing it. Let's enable, let's encourage, and let's make people aware.
Right. I would love to have people watch that and join that. Once you get how you're going to do that, can you please share it with me so I can share it out to everyone else?
Sure. Yeah, it'll just be a non-production level thing that happens. We were thinking about doing it on Monday just so that ideally the letters will have some effect. You know, they're not going out on like a Friday night or something, but I guess it really doesn't matter for the comment period, really. So maybe we'll even do it before. I'm not sure. Kind of.
Yeah, I know.
Like we're burning daylight, right? We have 14 days, so sitting around waiting until Thursday isn't really necessary. So we might do it earlier. But yeah, I'll let you know whatever we do.
Here's another question for you guys. This will be a final question. Do you think people out there in the gun industry knew that this was coming?
Who cares? Every single war is full of assholes and heroes and everything in between. Who the fuck cares? Sorry if I keep swearing, but who cares? I like Churchill's thing. If we throw a rock at every dog that barks, we don't get where we're going. So maybe there's history. Nothing's ignored. We'll know it at the end of all this, but who cares how we got here? If there's critical data we need to know, I'm trying to create a list just so I even know the playing field. But going forward, if scoundrels sold us out to get here, who cares? You don't worry about that in the middle of a fight. If we're getting slapped and we got 14 days to react, let's fight.
I see. I knew you were going to go there with that, G-Web, so I tried to set you up with a softball.
Okay.
And I think it worked.
He makes a great
But I'm
point.
trying to read this now, and it's super difficult. Like, I'm just trying to figure out. I figured, I'm just going to figure out what the decisions were. Because I know in 12, they said it's okay. And then they said in like 14, and then in 15, they said no. But then in 17, they're like, okay, you can shoulder it again. And then in 19, they're like, okay, we really mean it. You can shoulder it again. No problems. Go ahead and start making new items. And then, boom, there's a ton of them that came to the market in 19. Bam, we get hit. So, man, there's a million ways to look at this like it was some sort of chess game. But I tell you what, if a crab at the bottom of a big sandhill decides whether or not a kid decided to smash that sandhill on him or not, he's still booking the hell out of there as the sand's falling. So let's do whatever we got to do and then pick up pieces after. But history is history.
You got no volume, John.
You muted yourself, not me. No, you're muted, dude. You're not hearing anything.
Yeah, I don't even know if he can hear us.
Oh, that's what happened.
I said I'm pretty sure there'll be a reckoning coming in the future, but right now that's not the time.
Yeah, and we don't do a good job. I mean, we don't really. I don't know. But again, that's we're going to see this over and over. And every time I dig into history, I see us hitting these things before. It's not like those sayings about history repeating itself. It's not like they had nothing else better to do. It like rings home. Like we literally keep running into these things. And that's the other thing is the more you know about it, you don't want to ignore stuff as it comes along. But to understand a slap isn't a slice in the gut with a razor blade, right? To understand a slap isn't a punch in the jaw that knocks you down. And a slap to your face isn't a punch in the gut to your kid next to you, right? So we got to learn to take a slap every once in a while too, as long as they're not.
Yeah. Before we get out of here, Silverback, do you want to add anything?
I mean, I think exactly what G Webs is saying is really what we need to do. But I do also think that a lot of this stuff might not be super pre-planned, but somebody had it in their head to get these wheels turning somewhere. So, yes, and you're right. We need to focus on this and just attack it at all angles and be done with it. I agree with that 100%. And if we can get everybody that's on our side to do the same thing, just put all the squabbling aside because it's not about us right now. It's about our freedom. So attack them and let's get it done and over with, and then we can go back to doing whatever we were doing before.
Exactly.
John.
Oh, sorry. I like my kids showed up here, so but I like I like how fired up G Webs is. I love a lot of what he's saying. There's more information coming out day by day, and it's going to be some crazy information.
This is the fight. This is why we have a system like this, so that we have all kinds of mechanisms, and we've got more resources that are available to use these mechanisms than we ever had. So yeah, I'm kind of not looking forward to it. I knew it was coming, but yeah, I mean, we've got a lot to gain, we got a lot to lose, and again, this isn't a finish line, but we have an opportunity to learn how to work together for a bit.
Right, and I agree. We have a lot of great platforms to get this stuff out there. Which is why anytime I hear information from John, like I made 2 videos, and it's rare for me, but I made 2 videos over the last couple of days trying to push out this information to get people educated. In my group that I'm in, that I started on my Facebook page, I put up a big thing that says, "Here's where you go to make your comments to the ATF." So I'm trying to get people focused on doing that, writing these comments and letting the ATF know what we think about what they're doing, so more people have access to that as well. So I'm trying to push. I'm trying to do exactly like you're saying on all the platforms that I have access to as well. So and I agree 100%. The more we can spread this information around to the more like-minded people, the better off we'll be.
Hey, Mike, I think we had a little miscommunication. It was 4 o'clock Eastern.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had it down for 5.
I'm sorry. 8:30. Then you said you responded with a 4.
I apologize. You want me to head out and reconvene?
Yeah, we can do that. We can get back. How about Tuesday of next week?
Send me an email to confirm, and I apologize.
Yeah, no problem. We're just wrapping up here.
Okay. All right. Have a outstanding weekend, and again, I apologize, and I look forward to it.
All right, look forward to it too.
Thanks, guys.
Well, we just confirmed, I guess, for Tuesday. All right, Silverback, tell people where they can find you, and we're going to get out of here.
Well, you can find me here on YouTube, as always, at Gorillas and Guns, Facebook at Gorillas and Guns, Gun Streamer at Gorillas and Guns. Those are the platforms that I'm vocal on right now. I haven't really posted much on Gunstreamer just because I'm not sure where they're at as far as things go, but I'm still trying to be as active as I can right now with everything going on YouTube and on Facebook and any other platform that I can manage to get my hands on.
All right, G-Web, tell people where they can find you.
Oh, I'm online. I agree with Silverback, though. That's the way to do it. And nobody really values their voice when we talk about that. It's not like, oh, you got to go make videos or some crap. Like, by being active on platforms and looking in comments and commenting and being interactive, one, when you comment, you're having face-to-face interaction almost always with the creator themselves. So you can have some influence on their direction. But you're also commenting to all those people in the comments from now who are watching it immediately and in the future, right? So you're leaving comments. I mean, I wrote comments in 2009 that are still out there, and people are reading them and getting an impression on me based on that, right? So we're leaving. Our voice is valuable. In addition to that, you go to like one channel, another channel, the third channel. You're the glue. You're a piece of glue that binds those three channels together. Now, there's certain people that are going to be unique interactions, catalysts, whatever you want to call that, between channels. Now, sure, there's a lot of channels that share a lot of people, but each of us has a unique fingerprint in what we influence out there or who we interact with. And having just the resolve, the intent to do something, like Silverback is saying, on your own platforms, and just the resolve to let share the word, that is grassroots. That is how it happens. Like, there's no magic, there's no money that can be spent to make that happen. You can't make Facebook do that. People wish they could. That kind of stuff happens based on authentic message, and we have that. And then I'm glad that we got to say hey to Mike, because I've been researching that since you first started having him on. But that Operation Backbone sounds pretty awesome, so I'm looking forward to when you actually do get to talk with him.
Do you want to come on and talk with him with me?
No, I'm actually shouldn't even come on now. I'm not doing good. I have to keep working, but I appreciate that this one wasn't too long, because I'm used to going on and it lasts forever.
Point. Sorry, I usually don't have my kids at this point, but my wife has some type of a big meeting, so she dropped them off. But yeah, so I'm gonna wrap it up here too. Silverback.
Yeah, G-Webs, you said this thing that you're going to be doing, is it going to be on your channel, or is there a particular channel where I can go check it out?
We barely came up with the concept yesterday, kind of late at night. So I don't think it'll be on my channel unless somebody wants it to be. I think we're going to have it on Walt's channel so that he can get the coverage. And that's, I think, DJ's out there. I'm pretty sure it's Walt Anderson or something like that. But yeah, I'll have a link on my channel. I'll let John know. It's not designed to be a huge event or something. It won't be high production value, but everybody's welcome to join. I don't do stuff for like come and watch in bleacher seats. Bring your keyboards and join, like be part of it. We're going to do a collaborative. Let's get input from everybody who knows what's going on or has a concern, and then let's add that to the collective and then distribute all of that, right?
Yep.
All right, everyone. I'm going to take off because my kids are going crazy behind me because they are crazy. We're going to go get some pizza.
It's Christmas.
So check out Kirby.com for everything else. Check me out on Patreon.com where I break all my news first. Check me out at MLN and Black Swan Tactical. And my kids are just nuts. But yeah, all my things. Go to Crumpy.com. Everything's on there. I will see you guys Monday, and you guys have a great day. And I will say bye-bye here and play this.